What is your latest understanding of what we've been discussing and reporting out, the seeming indication that the Russian tactics will only become more brutal and aggressive?
Well, we're seeing that already, Nicole, and the military people will tell you, as we heard in a briefing yesterday, that what the Ukrainians have done has been unexpected. It's been wonderful. It's been amazing, but you can defy military gravity for only so long. Putin has such categorical advantages, including getting a lot more brutal than he has been, that sadly the next couple of weeks are not likely to be happy ones for anybody watching. The good news is, and I can say this representing a very polarized and divided institution, as I do here in the United States Congress, is that I have never seen the degree of unity. This is a broken place after January 6th, but Republicans and Democrats whose relationships were badly damaged are coming together to say, how can we do more?
I hear that all the time. I drop off and in the halls of this building, what is the answer to that question? How can we do more?
Well, I was with the Intelligence Committee just this afternoon, in which we were talking about precisely that in ways that I can't talk about on television. But every meeting in this building is about being consistent with the president's plan. And the president has been very clear, which is we are going to make this excruciatingly painful, as I think we already have, we being the United States and our European allies, short of going to war. And this is why we need to be very careful about using things. And look, we all understand, because we have hearts and souls, why Ukrainian journalists feel the way they do. But getting into a shooting war between NATO and Russia does not make this situation better. And a no-fly zone, be very clear and talk to your military consultants about this, a no-fly zone means that we are attacking Russian military assets on Russian soil. And so we just need to stay the course of making it very clear to Vladimir Putin that he stands completely alone and isolated, and that there is no victory for him here.
There are reports that innocent civilians are among the dead, as they always are in any war. Horrific news. Is there a scenario that changes what you just articulated, Congressman?
Well, one of the interesting questions, and I imagine that Vladimir Putin is probably shocked by the fact that Russian teams will no longer be playing in the World Cup, that British Petroleum is withdrawing from their energy joint ventures, that the Swiss, of all people, after centuries of neutrality, are actually going up against the Russian oligarchs. One of the really interesting questions is what is the out for Vladimir Putin? Because if he sees no out, if he feels like he's completely painted into a corner, if there's no way for him to emerge from this disaster that he has created with some semblance of a saving of face, it could get a lot worse. It could get much uglier for civilians on the ground. It could get much riskier for the world as a whole as he rattles his nuclear saber. So as painful as it is to think about this, we do need to be thinking about what a way is for him to withdraw as soon as possible in a way that he can explain to himself and to his own people, because that's what needs to happen.
Have you been surprised? I know there's been a lot of coverage of how right the intelligence agencies in this country have been about Putin. Has Zelensky's performance and ability to unite his country and turn them into citizen soldiers, even the ones that aren't in the military, have you been surprised by that?
I have been. What a remarkable study in courage President Zelensky has been. And there's no doubt in my mind, and I don't think there's any doubt in the minds of people who study this stuff, that his courage, his leadership has made all of the difference here. You wouldn't draw too close an analogy with Afghanistan, because they're radically different countries. But here you had one place where a leader was one of the first out the door. And of course, in Ukraine, Zelensky is demonstrating what leadership can mean against some of the most brutal odds one might imagine.
It is an incredible thing to watch, and we've had the privilege of speaking to folks who are hunkered down in their homes with young kids and braced for the worst, but hoping for a miracle. What would you say to them?
Well, I would hope, and I caught that bit that you showed of the Ukrainian journalist talking to Boris Johnson. Again, if you have a heart and a soul, they both break for the plight of the Ukrainian people. But I hope that the Ukrainian people see and understand that the world stands against Vladimir Putin. And when I say the world, I mean the world. Things are happening out there that you never imagined. It might be the Germans arming the Ukrainians. It was a week ago that they said that they wouldn't do that. The Swiss giving up their ancient neutrality. I would hope that the Ukrainians take some comfort in the fact that the entire world is standing against Vladimir Putin right now.